The Kaarthak Dominion had conquered countless worlds across the spiral arm. Their strategy was always the same: overwhelm defenses, capture civilians, and break the spirit of resistance before it could form. No species had ever defied them for long. When Supreme Commander Vrol was briefed on the new target, an obscure blue-green planet whose inhabitants called themselves humans, he had expected another swift and bloodless assimilation. The reports described a species still primitive in interstellar terms, confined to their own solar system, fractured into nations. Soft prey. And so, when the first wave of Kaarthak cruisers descended upon the planet, they struck not at armies, but at the next generation. The command believed that taking the young, especially the very young, would sap morale and force the humans to capitulate. After all, who would fight once their children were in alien hands? Vrol ordered the abduction of a small group, a mere test case. His elite strike team snatched a transport bus of human schoolchildren outside a sprawling city called Chicago. The humans screamed, fought, and threw rocks, but the plasma nets held. Within minutes, 32 children were aboard the Dominion flagship. The first signs of trouble came almost immediately. Part 1. The beginning of the end. The holding chamber was designed to contain dangerous adult prisoners, hardened mercenaries, battle thralls, or rebellious slaves. 32 small humans should have been harmless. And yet, the guards reported chaos. Supreme Commander rasped Captain Tiarzak, his mandibles twitching nervously. The humans are volatile. Volatile? Vrol's spines bristled. They are children. Yes, Commander. But they are unlike any spawn we have encountered. They fight. Constantly. Vrol descended to the chamber himself, determined to witness. He found the children climbing on the walls, tearing insulation from conduits, and hurling it at the guards. One small human had somehow wrestled a shock staff away and was chasing 2 soldiers with it, shrieking battle cries. Others were not fighting but singing, a shrill, disorganized chant that echoed painfully through the chamber. Several had drawn crude images on the floor with what appeared to be their own food paste: ships exploding, aliens impaled, strange stick figures with exaggerated muscles. This is play, Vrol hissed, baffled. A translator drone floated close to the loudest of them, a boy of perhaps 10 years. The child yelled, "You're all dumb bug eyes. My dad's gonna beat you up." The drone interpreted the words, but it was the tone, the absolute certainty, that unsettled Vrol. He left the chamber, unease curling in his thorax. Other species wept, cowered, and begged. These small humans? They threatened. Part 2. The middle. Escalation. Over the following days, the problem grew worse. The children resisted every attempt at control. Tranquilizers wore off far too quickly. Nutrient rations were rejected unless disguised to resemble familiar human food. Guards were bitten, scratched, and worst of all, mocked. "They have no fear," Tiarzak reported. "Even when we demonstrate superior force, they defy us." One of them spit in my secondary eye. Vrol tried new tactics. He attempted indoctrination, showing holograms of Dominion conquests. The children responded by booing and throwing whatever they could find at the screens. He offered rewards for compliance. The children instead demanded impossible things. Pizza? A PlayStation. Let us go home. Vrol considered simply venting the chamber into space. But reports from other fleets gave him pause. Entire human cities had risen in fury the moment the abductions became known. Adults volunteered en masse for military service. Production lines tripled output. Resistance cells formed in every occupied zone. Worse still, strange stories circulated of human parents. These adults were said to be far more dangerous than their offspring, driven by a relentless protective instinct. Vrol recalled one intercepted transmission, a human female screaming into a camera, "Bring back our children, or we will burn your sky." The Dominion had never faced such madness. The first escape attempt. On the 7th cycle, alarms blared. Somehow, the humans had overpowered a guard squad and were rampaging through the engineering deck. Vrol arrived to find 3 children using pipes as swords. 2 more had hotwired a cleaning drone into a makeshift battering ram, and 1, barely taller than Vrol's knee, was attempting to bite through a coolant line. They were laughing the entire time. It took half a company of soldiers to subdue them, and still 3 Krrthak were left unconscious. "Supreme Commander," Trzak said afterwards, holding his cracked mandible, "I recommend immediate termination of the subjects." But Vrol could not. Not because of pity, but because of fear. He had seen the human transmissions. Killing these children would not weaken humanity, it would ignite them. Part 3. The Turning Point. Word of the abductions spread faster than light. Human governments, previously divided, united overnight. Fleets were cobbled together from orbital defense craft, mining rigs, even civilian transports. The first human counterattack came sooner than expected. A ragtag fleet of only a dozen ships fell upon Vrol's task force near the asteroid belt. The humans fought with reckless abandon, ramming their fragile craft into Dominion cruisers. And all the while, they transmitted one message on every frequency: "Return our children." Inside the flagship, the chaos continued. The children had organized themselves into something resembling a military unit. The older ones led drills, training the younger in ambush tactics. They turned every object into a weapon, food trays into shields, bedding into slings, ventilation grates into spears. One girl, no older than 12, had figured out the ship's comm system and was broadcasting taunts across Dominion channels. "This is Fort Kiddo. We hold the ship now. Come and get us, bug lords." Vrol felt his authority unravel. His soldiers whispered of curses, of demons disguised as spawnlings. They spoke of abandoning ship. Part 4. The Final Revolt. The breaking point came when the children staged their boldest act yet. During a maintenance cycle, they managed to overload the chamber's security grid, flooding the section with smoke. By the time guards responded, the humans had vanished into the ship's crawlspaces. What followed was 3 days of absolute nightmare. The children waged guerrilla war inside the flagship. Supplies vanished. Systems malfunctioned mysteriously. Entire decks were locked down by hacked consoles. Crews were ambushed by tiny figures dropping from ventilation shafts, screaming for Earth. At one point, Vrol discovered his personal command throne smeared with sticky sugar paste that welded his armor shut when he sat. Another time, the ship's intercom played nothing but human nursery rhymes, on repeat for 12 straight hours. Morale collapsed. The humans outside pressed their attack, emboldened by the havoc within. Vrol realized the truth with growing dread. He had not captured 32 children. He had captured 32 weapons of mass disruption. Part 5. The Ending. Regret. Cornered by both internal and external enemies, Vrol made his decision. He summoned Trzak. "We cannot hold them," the commander admitted. "Release the spawn." Trzak blinked both sets of eyes. "You mean return them?"
"Yes.
"Send them back."
Alive."
"Immediately. Signal the humans our intent."